Welcome everybody to match day 4 here at Memorial Stadium, where in today's matchup is between the visiting Falmouth Navigators and your Deering Rams. And coming into this game, Deering is 1 win, 1 tie, and 1 loss. And Falmouth coming in at 2 wins and 1 loss. Both teams not where they want to be in terms of the standings, but it is early in the season.
Yeah, and these are 2 quality teams that, they're going to make a run for the playoffs. And like you said, it's early in the season. And Falmouth's loss came at the hands of Portland, and we were there, and we filmed it. And it was a great game, double overtime, and Portland won it. And so I guess you could say that Falmouth is here tonight to try to take that defeat out on the crosstown rivals of Portland, the Deering team. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But Deering's not going to be a pushover either. So 2 quality teams here.
Yeah, both of these teams played twice last year, once in the regular season where they tied 1-1. And then they met in the tournament in the regional semifinals, Deering coming out on top 1-0. So, both of these teams have not let up many goals against one another. But, both teams, Falmouth letting up their first 2 goals in the Portland game. But Deering, their problem has been on the other end and not scoring enough goals. And so we'll see if Deering can jumpstart their offense, or Falmouth can keep up with their defensive prowl.
Yeah, both teams, as just the same as like with last Friday with Portland and Falmouth, both teams have good defenses. And so it's a struggle. Both teams, I'm assuming, are going to go at a very fast pace, and the passing's going to need to be crisp. When you play a good team, you can't let little mistakes creep in, because if the ball's not right and it's intercepted and the other team gets a pass or 2, they're going to score a goal on you. That's the type of teams these 2 teams are.
Yeah, Deering so far has let up 3 goals, 1 in each of their games. And one goal resulted in a loss. 1 goal was against Chevrolet, and that was a 3-1 win. And 1 goal was in a tie. Speaking about their last game, outside of maybe like 45 seconds for Deering played in a phenomenal game against Kennebunk. It was just the first 45 seconds of the second half that was their downfall.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. All it takes is just that couple of passes, and in the goal the ball goes, and it can happen in 15 seconds. And, when you play a game that's 90 minutes long and have the impact of 15 seconds, it's mind-boggling.
And for Falmouth, they were 2 minutes and 45 seconds away from being unbeaten. But Falmouth will definitely look to rebound from their goal that they let up in double overtime. And so we'll see who comes out on top between the Rams and the Navigators, and we'll be back for player introductions and the national anthem.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Memorial Field, the home of the Deering High School Rams. The Deering soccer program would like to welcome their opponents, the Navigators from Falmouth High School. Now let's get to the starting lineup, so we'll begin with our visitors from Falmouth. Number 1, Ian Long. Number 2, number 3, Wyatt Carlson. Number 4, Griffin Carr. Number 6, Hayden Davis. Number 8, Evan Mayo. Number 9, Simon Wissing. Number 11, Ali Cotter. Number 12, Ian Christie. Number 14, Sam Yoon. Number 20, Charlie Cresswell. And in net for the Navigators, wearing number 00, Caden Berry. Navigators coached by Dave Howard. And now the starting lineup for your Deering High School Rams. Number 2, senior, Luke Newell. Number 7, sophomore, Lucio Kibindida. Number 8, senior, Alberto Beata. Number 9, senior captain, Peter Sargent. Number 11, senior captain, Ethan Fisher. Number 12, junior, Flavio Basinga. Number 13, junior, Cristiano Afonso. Number 11, number 16, junior, Ibrahim Abdullahi. Number 20, junior, Guilherme Jose. Number 28, junior, sophomore, Sam Almeida. And wearing 0, defending the net tonight, junior, Jack Borland. The Rams are coached by Joel Costigan. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise, face our nation's flag as we honor America.
Here we go for the start of the game. Deering going to start off with the ball.
Beautiful day for soccer.
And Deering work in the middle of the field, but it's a turnover. And Deering gets it back. It's kicked up. And it's off of Deering, out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a nice back heel. Unfortunately, the Deering player couldn't get it. It went off his body. Would have been a nice pass.
And it's Falmouth able to get it out of pressure. It's Bayada kicking it back. And Alberto Bayada is definitely going to be one to watch in the midfield. He is definitely the anchor to keep anything from quickly going up the field.
Well, and that, it's nice to have a goal scorer, but it's also nice to have someone who can defend the ball too.
Kabinda to Abdullahi. It's up, and it's a early shot, but Barry there and in the way of the goal for Deering.
Well, and as we saw on Friday, the goalie for Falmouth is pretty darn good.
And the ball is going to roll out.
He may have given 2 goals up against Portland, but he had to have made a half a dozen great stops too.
And it's a turnover. Bayada will try to cross it in. It's going to be a throw for Deering. It's Fisher boots it, but it's over the net.
Probably out into the street. And they're waiting on a ball. I don't see anyone chasing the balls down on either side, which is going to be potential for a lot of time wasting in this game if they can't get the balls back in.
Fisher, Kabinda, and nothing going for Deering. It's out wide to Cresswell. Back to the other side. And Deering unable to get to the ball. Out wide to Wisink. And shot towards the net by Ian Christie. So it's going to be a goal kick for Deering. Just under 35 and a half minutes to go in the first half. Fisher. It's settled by Abdullahi. Sargent will boot it up. And Deering not able to string any passes. Falmouth getting some pressure. And Deering will get that out. It's kicked up in the air. It's up the sideline to Mayo. And Sargent there to intercept the pass into the middle. Mayo crossing it. And it's kept from going out.
Or was it a corner?
It was Jose keeping it from being a corner. It's lopped high, back into the middle, and Deering able to get it out. It's Alfonso bringing it down, but ran right into Falmouth's defense.
Yeah, 3-on-1 took the ball away from him.
It's out wide to Cresswell, and the foot of Newell keeping it from going any further. It's Abdullahi. And miss hit by Masinga. Abdullahi, it's off of Falmouth. It's crossed over.
Nice move.
To Wisink. Over to Cresswell. Over to Carter. It's Mayo will cross it in. It's going to roll just in front of the goal. And it's going to roll out for a Deering throw-in.
And you could hear the groan from the Falmouth side. Nobody there to even attempt to put it in the net. Well, you know, you're looking for a beautiful pass. You got one, but there wasn't anyone there to receive it.
And it's going to deflect. And it's a foul. That's the first foul of the game on Falmouth. It's 31 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the half. It's been a clean game so far.
Yeah, not many fouls, lots of action.
It's kicked in there. It's Yoon kicking it out. Sargent will get the ball back. It's crossed in.
Ooh.
Kicked away by Parr. Bayada will get it to Sargent. Abdullahi having space to work with. He'll shoot it, and it's wide of the net.
Was that a deflection? No. It almost looks like it was a deflection. And we're having a discussion with the referee and the Falmouth coach, which we don't have on camera right now.
It's taken short. Cresswell. Yoon and Fisher deflecting it, but Falmouth will keep possession. It's Carter crossing it back to the other side of the field. Cresswell to Yoon. And Falmouth going back and forth, not going forward. But they do have possession. Cresswell getting by the midfield. Yoon. And it's taken away by Yada.
Well, and as we spoke about, both of these teams have really good defense, as we saw with the Poland-Falmouth game. And the middle of the field is getting worn out.
And miscommunication between Abdullahi and Alfonso. Cresswell getting it down, but Sargent there to get it to Bayada. It's going to be a goal kick. Carter. Yoon in the middle of the field, crossing it over to Long. And getting a deflection is Masenga, but it goes out of bounds. 28 minutes to go in the first half. And it's going to go out of bounds on Falmouth.
Well, and as we can see now, it's definitely going to take a perfect pass for anything to happen.
And it's going to be a throw on Falmouth. No, it's going to be a foul on Deering. It's taken short.
That's always a risky play when you're sending it back to your goalie, and you got a defender lurking off a daring player waiting. If the pass is not perfect, they got a free shot.
And takes a deflection. It ends up getting to a Deering foot. And it's going to just go over the line. Taken quickly. Cresswell. And booted out. And kicked out. There's going to be another sub, this time for Falmouth. It's kicked up. It's Daniel, who just came on for Deering. Daniel able to get around the defender, but pushed into the corner. And it's going to be a free kick for Deering.
Was that holding? I think when he spun around him.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is when he spun around the Falmouth defender. There was a jersey grab.
Yeah, because the daring player didn't go down.
It's Sargent and Fisher over the ball. It's taken short. And a shot. And it deflected, but barely. And Barry able to track the ball.
And that was an easy play for him, too.
And I know you see in many instances where a ball is shot towards the net. Miscommunication.
Oh, my goodness.
And
wow.
And I don't know if but as soon as that pass backwards to the goalie can't touch it. And so, and that's where the defender needs to realize that the goalie's coming out, just let him take it.
Well, and how many times do we see on all levels of soccer, if the goalie comes out too far and the other team just chips it over the top of his head into the net, and that's what the Falmouth player tried to do, but it didn't work.
And so back to the almost chance for Deering. I mean, how many times have we seen a shot go towards the net and it redirects enough where the goalie is frozen still and the ball is going in a complete opposite direction than the goalie? And so Falmouth getting lucky on that shot being deflected barely.
Yeah.
So both teams now have gotten the luck. It's a shot, and it's in the back of the net. That is Augusto Daniel.
Wow. That was a no-doubter to the opposite side. There was no way the Falmouth goalie was going to get a hold of that one. As good as he is, he doesn't have long enough arms to have stopped that one. Perfectly placed by the Deering player. And that was a hard-hit ball, too. And how many times do you see someone roof it over the top? Well, not this time. It went in the net.
Yeah, I mean, Augusto Daniel coming on and gets the opening goal for Deering.
Yeah, he just came in, didn't he?
So Deering takes a 1-0 lead, just over 22 minutes to go in the first half. Deering started off with majority of the possession. Falmouth ended up getting a spurt there, but Deering definitely settled down and has regained momentum of this game.
Well, and, as we talked, both teams are really good. And sometimes who gets that first goal dictates the way the game's going to flow for the rest of the game.
Daniel and getting pushed from behind. So it's going to be a free kick just off the sideline.
So he's quite the active player. That's the second player for Falmouth that he's got to get a penalty and for a free kick on him.
And so the only player over the ball is Peter Sargent, having to shield the sun from his eyes. It's low, and it's high in the air. No one able to bring it down just yet. And it's kicked away. It's going to roll out. We're going to get a substitute for Deering.
We're halfway through this first half, 20 minutes left to go.
And for Deering, you got to think no matter how you started so far in the first 3 games, you are still the defending Class A South champions. And so all the other teams are going to have to take that from you.
They're certainly playing like it tonight.
And it's going to be a foul on Deering. Kick back to the goalie. Sargent will get grabbed. So it's going to be another free kick for Deering.
Well, and that was just a hustle play right there.
Bayada. And it's going to be taken quickly. Bayada getting it out of pressure. And it's a foul on Deering. Taken quickly up. And takes a deflection off of Jose.
Oh, missed hit for Deering, trying to get the ball out. Let's see what happens.
And Fisher will get it up the field, but it's going to get to Carter, and it's going to be a foul. It's in the corner to Yoon. Yoon will cross it in, and Borland able to scoop it up.
Yeah, he really hasn't been tested yet tonight, and he definitely kept his eyes on the ball, and it was able to wrap it up nice and easy.
Fisher will get it up the field. And Carter's going to watch it go out.
Wholesale changes now.
And you have two starters back in the game for Deering.
$16 left to go in the first half. It's 1-0 Deering. Oh, excuse me, it's 1-0 Deering.
Jose getting it to Abdullahi. Sargent.
Returning for your Rams, number 7, Lucio Ibinda. And number 16, Ibrahim Abdullahi.
It's a long-range shot that was mishit. Under 15 and a half to go.
And the goalie saving himself a trip for next time, grabs both soccer balls. Yeah, like I said, I'm surprised they don't have anyone chasing the soccer balls on either side.
It's going to go to the other side of the field. Up to Hickey. And it's going to go out on Deering. Quickly taken by Newell. Or sorry, Stoikov. And Falmouth has a chance, and just on the outside of the net.
And you could see the Darren defender It's like he wanted to put his hands up, but he knew he couldn't, and he let the goalpost do the work for him. I mean, he was standing right there, but there was nothing much he could do about that, whether it went in or not.
Up the field. And it's going to be out on Falmouth. Or sorry, Deering. It's a Falmouth throw. Carter kicks it up. It's to the foot of Hickey. And it's going to be kicked out by Luke Newell. Falmouth regaining their footing with just over 13 minutes to go.
Yeah, they're certainly putting a lot of pressure on now. They need something to happen here before the end of the first half.
And it's kicked out again. And I think Deering's comfortable with keeping Falmouth pinned on that sideline.
Yeah, and unlike any other major sport, the clock keeps running even when the ball goes out of bounds.
Taken short, and Abdullahi boots it out of bounds. Under 12 minutes to go. It's headed out of the goalie box by Sargent. It's back out of bounds. And it's once again out of bounds. So time is ticking for Falmouth.
Well, unfortunately for Deering, too. They still got 11 minutes in this half and 40 minutes in the next half. They can't be kicking it out of bounds for 51 minutes. So something's got to give.
It's taken by Deering. It's kicked into the corner.
Oh! Oh,
And
jeez.
that ball was just slow enough rolling. And that was a clean tackle. Both players going for the ball. Deering player down at the other end. And it's going to be watched going out of bounds by Almeida.
And we have a player down, and the clock is not stopped.
And the clock will stop, and will take a timeout as they tend to the downed player. And we're back. The downed player was Augusto Daniel, able to get up and walk off.
Yeah, he was down for a little bit. We don't have commercial breaks that we can go to, so we can't tell you how long he was down, but it was for a little bit.
It's long. And it's going to be a foul on Deering. Just under 10 to go in the first half. Yoon will take it into the corner, and it was Bayada kicking it out. And so Falmouth now going to try to get it into the goalie box on this side of the field. Carter will boot it, and that goes out.
And it looks like they have a couple of young people to chase the balls now. So that'll save some clock time.
Yeah, normally it's the JV players that...
Well, and as we came in to the parking lot, the other fields were being used by some of the underclassmen. And I think that's where a couple of the ball people came from.
Abdullahi getting it to Bayada, but it's just by him. And it's Deering able to regain possession.
Great
Fisher,
steal.
Abdullahi to Bayada. Abdullahi can't keep it. Carter gets it from him. And it's going to roll all the way to Carlson, but it's right back to Deering. So back and forth we go. Fisher. It's going to roll. And it's kept in, but great defense by Griffin Parr. 7 minutes to go. It's intercepted by Masenga. And going to be a foul on Falmouth. So both teams with 5 fouls. It's going to be taken by Cresswell. Cresswell kicks it up and can't get it to a Falmouth player. Under 6 to go, and both teams have not been able to string many passes together.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some moments where it's been really great soccer to watch with the passing, but there's been a lot of, when the defense feels like stepping it up on either side, we're playing between the 30 and the 30. You know, which is very tough, hard soccer, and you get all worn out.
And Deering will get another throw. Sargent. And it's kicked into the corner. And it's going to be a throw-in. It was pressure by Alfonso. And he'll take it. And it's going to roll out of bounds. It's going to be over everyone's head, and Barry will be there, quickly throwing it up the field. And Alfonso couldn't get around the defenders.
Yeah, it was a 50-50 chance. He just chose the wrong side of the defenders. The ball went the opposite side. It might have been a magical attempt at the goal if he could have just got there.
Yoon will Bayada trying to get it back for Deering. And it's going to be a Falmouth throw. Sargent overrunning it a little bit, but Abdullahi there. Carter will get the ball for Falmouth. Deering with the throw. It's going to be taken by Ndoyo.
There was a throw-in violation. Yeah, he lifted his leg up before he let go of the ball.
It's taken away by Deering. Booted up the field. Abdullahi can't settle it on the first touch.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He was trying to drop it to his feet, but it went too far away.
Misplayed, 2 minutes to go. And Mayo gets around. And
is it a penalty?
It is a penalty. It's going to be a penalty kick.
Yeah, he definitely took his feet out.
And so we'll see who the penalty taker is going to be.
So with 1:47 left to go in this first half, Falmouth has an opportunity to tie this game up.
It's going to be Sam Yoon going to take the penalty.
And the Deering players need to be prepared for the block and get in there and knock it away.
Yoon will kick it and into the back of the net. So Falmouth ties things up at 1 with 1 minute and 47 seconds left to go.
Well, and sometimes that's all it takes.
And that started with a mishit on the ball, which it deflected to Evan Mayo. And Mayo able to get behind the center back. And that's the foul. And great effort. It was Cristiano Alfonso trying to get to that ball. 1 minute to go. Out wide. And it's going to be a throw-in for Falmouth.
Yeah, a little too strong on the foot. Had a player wide open, ready to run down the sideline, but
"16 seconds left.
just a short opportunity here.
It's long. And 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. And the horn is going to sound. And so the halftime score is 1-1 Deering against Falmouth. And Deering controlled most of that half, but once again, Deering letting up a goal on like a quick play up the field.
Well, you know, and the unfortunate thing for Deering is, well, I mean, both teams really played hard, but Deering really played excellent defense, and it came down to a mistake and a foul. The ball was turned over. The Falmouth player in the box trying to go for the ball got tripped up. And, you know, sometimes the referees will let things go in the box if someone gets bumped or, you know, a little bit of action and stuff. But that was definitely a clear foul, and it had to be a penalty kick.
Yeah. I mean, Deering with a great opening goal by Augusto Daniel. And Deering was looking poised to go into the half with the lead, but a quick up the field and Sam Yoon's penalty kick ties things at 1.
Well, and it just goes to show you how quickly the tide can turn. You know, because you're playing 40 minutes. And unfortunately for Deering, the last 2 minutes turned out to be, you know, not a good thing.
And so Deering is probably going to talk about how to regain that momentum to keep the ball in Falmouth's half. And Falmouth is probably talking about how to settle things down and to make sure to keep possession.
Well, and the thing for Falmouth is they were, I think, a little bit more outplayed by Deering, and they're probably thanking their lucky stars the game is tied. And so I don't know about you, Seth, but I think we filmed 2 games so far this season. They've both gone into overtime. Are we looking at a third game? I mean, that's the way it's starting to look here.
Yeah, it's starting to look like first team to make a mistake, but we've seen crazier things happen, and we could have a wild second half. So we'll see where the second half takes us, whether it's just like the first half with a lot of defense, or if both teams can get more balls into the back of the net. And so the halftime score is Deering 1, Falmouth 1, and we'll be back for second half action. And here we go for the start of the second half, putting 40 more minutes on the clock. Falmouth is going to start with the ball. We'll see what both teams talked about. And a deflection. Yoon will take it to the other side of the field, passing it back to Carter. It's kicked up. Mayo.
Offsides? No.
And boots it out of bounds. He booted up the field. Fisher, and it's settled. Deering will get it up the field. Daniel can't get around the defender, and it's kicked out of bounds by Hayden Davis.
Great battle and no foul.
Mayo. And taken off the ball by Sargent. Bayada. And just rolls out.
Yeah, those are those little plays that Deering needs to make.
It was intended for Jose. Abdullahi comes screaming in to try to take the ball. It's going to be booted up the field.
Yeah, not to anybody. You got to be careful what you do, because that was easily taken by the goalie of Falmouth.
37.5 minutes to go, and it's going to be a foul on Falmouth. It's taken quickly by Deering. Taken down by Kabinda. Abdullahi. Sargent out to Fisher. Bayada getting it up the field. And Falmouth doing just enough to get it out. And a foul on Deering.
Yeah, I mean, Deering had a chance a number of times to move that ball up. They've been definitely putting a lot of pressure on Falmouth this time.
And it's going to be a throw-in for Falmouth. Crossing sides of the field, Wisink will get it to Yoon. And it's in the corner. Carlson will cross it in. It's heeled backwards, and Abdullahi can't get it cleanly out. And it bounces right to Bayada.
And that was a beautiful pass backwards. If Falmouth just could have got their hands on, well, not hands, their feet on it.
Sargent slowing things down. And it's going to be a throw for Falmouth. Yoon and Borland getting to it. Daniel will fend off the... No, Falmouth finally gets it. It's booted up the field. And Jack Borland there to scoop it up.
Well, and just like the first half, both teams coming out really trying to move the ball.
And it was a great play by Jose to get it off of the Falmouth player.
Oh, he just overran the ball.
It's crossed to the other side of the field to Kian Long. And out of bounds on Deering.
Referee is saying, no, about 5 more yards back.
Carter getting it to Mayo. It's kick back to Yoon. It's Wisink. Carlson. And taken away by Sargent. Daniel. And it's off of Deering.
Yeah, great defense by Falmouth. He wouldn't let the Deering play around the corner, causing him to keep the ball out.
Daniel can't get it to a Deering player. .32.5 minutes left to go in the second half. It's tied 1-1. But both teams with a couple of good opportunities here, just one pass away. Jose, the pass can't get. Jose, he might have looked like he was going to be offsides.
Yeah, I think you're right. And he just stopped rather than going for the ball and allowed the Falmouth goalkeeper to get the ball first.
Jose will get the ball, kick it up. Sargent coming in to take the ball away. Fisher. And gets tripped.
Boy, I'll tell you, that's Sargent with his fancy footwork.
I have to say, with 31 minutes left to go in the game, there's been no corners. Bayada. It's kicked up Falmouth will get the ball. And great defense by Almada. Abdullahi can't get any further. We'll get it to Bayada. And it's into the arms of Barry, who chucks it up.
Nice pass backwards. Let's see what they do with it.
Sargent. Bayada. Getting it up. And it's booted back. So Deering with some pressure. Fisher will get it back for Deering. And right back to Wisink, and there's going to be a foul.
Yeah, you're allowed a little give and take on that, but when a player goes down from a shoulder, it's probably going to be a free kick.
Taken short. Carlson boots it in, and it's off the foot of Wyatt Braun.
Well, you know, and Braun, you could see him tapping his head like, oh, darn. But, you know, it's just a smidge too hard, because the thing is, if it had been just a little lighter on the tap, what do you think? He would have stood a good chance of scoring a goal there. I mean, that was beautiful pass, just off just a smidgen.
Number 19, Rocco Chigamanzini. And number 25, Afonso.
And what we just saw there, if you're wondering, is a couple of different daring players helping the goalie to tie his shoes. Not because he doesn't know how to tie his shoes, but the goalie's got those big mitts on his hands that generally sometimes are taped on so they don't come off when they're playing. And if you've ever seen goalie mitts, there is no way you're going to tie your shoe. So he had to have a couple of teammates come in and tie his shoe for him.
Fisher will kick it up the field. It's going to be a handball.
Wow. And that was kind of a high kick, too, by the Falmouth player.
Just over 26 and a half to go in this game. Wisink. It's Yoon in the middle of the field. Braun. Braun will bring it back to the center. He shoots it towards the net. And it's kept in by Wisink. It's crossed in. And it's going to be the first corner of the game. No, it's going to be a goal kick.
Wow. Falmouth with a couple of perfect opportunities there. And the player for Falmouth just couldn't round his foot around the ball. And it got close to the net, but not near enough for anything to happen. But this last minute or so, Falmouth with all the opportunities.
And that's going to be the first corner. It was forced by Kian Long. It's going to be taken by Sam Yoon. It's crossed into the middle of the goalie box. Abdullahi boots it out.
Oh, the Darren player just couldn't get it. You know, and the thing about artificial turf is sometimes you get little exaggerated bounces, and it's hard to judge where the ball's going to go.
Wisink and booted up. And it was over the head of Masenga. And Masenga there to slide tackle to get the ball away from the net.
And that was a great hustle play.
Carter is going to cross it in, and by the head of Evan Mayo.
Well, this last 5 minutes, Seth, is definitely all Falmouth. And Darren's going to have to be careful. I mean, we saw a huge ebb and flow in the first half. And now it's been all Falmouth.
Jose. Fisher will get it up to Lujan, but taken back from Falmouth. Settled and just wide of the net. It was off Wyatt Braun, and he's had a couple of chances.
Jeez. I mean, and like the goal for Deering on this side in the first half, that was hit hard enough. There was no way that goalie was going to touch it if it had happened to go into the far corner.
And it's going to be a Deering throw. Bayada settles it. Gets it to Sargent. It's kicked and it's out of bounds.
Yeah, a little too hard. Right idea, just strong-footed. 21 and a half minutes left to go in the second half here, tied 1-1.
Bayada, Sargent. And Sargent is going to commit a foul. .21 to go in the game. It is 1-1 here. Takes a deflection. Bayada.
Oh,
Wisink will take it away. And coming out of the net was Borland, able to get to it.
well, and that's a risky play too, because if the Falmouth player gets there first, he can just lob it over your head.
Wisink, and there's no foul.
Wow. Right in front of the referee who was standing in front of the Falmouth bench. So he made the decisive call and was not swayed by the bench.
Carter will bring it back into the middle of the field. Wisink will run it to the corner. And it's going to be a free kick. It's going to be taken by Evan Mayo.
Well, and this is going to be dangerous for Deering.
And Sam Yoon coming over. It's crossed in there, and in the back of the net for Falmouth is Kian Long. So Falmouth takes the lead with 18 minutes and 54 seconds left to go.
Well, and like we saw when Falmouth played Portland, and Portland won in overtime on a header, nobody marked up the Falmouth player. Free shot.
So Deering is going to have to go back to the drawing board.
And like I said, this half has been an ebb and flow, and Deering had it for a while, and now Falmouth, and they scored a goal.
With 21:06 expired in the second half, Falmouth's goal. Scored by number 1, Kian Long. Assisted by number 8, Evan Mayo. Into the match for Falmouth, number 23, Lyle.
Sargent will kick it up, but booted right back down the field.
Lucio Rubinda. Number 17, Augusto Daniel. And entering into the lineup, number 27, Adal Doyle.
Well, now all urgency is on Deering, and they got to make sure everything they do from here on out is perfect.
It's going to be booted up. Mayo trying to head it backwards. And shot was by Lyle Carperthwaite.
Well, and the thing about that is, when you got a free shot like that, the goalie has to be able to see exactly where that ball is at all times, and the goalie for Deering definitely had his eye on it, because it was hit hard enough.
We're going to get some subs.
Number 11, Ethan Fisher. And number 13, Cristiano Alfonso.
Misplay. Deering will keep it.
Very fortunate, too.
Jose. And on the outside of the net, it was shot towards by Alfonso. 16 minutes to go. Taken down by Copperthwaite. Copperthwaite. And no penalty. Abdullahi to Fisher. Jose to Abdullahi. And
easily stolen. And easily stolen right back.
Deering needing to get some pressure, and all they need to do is get it into the back of the net. It's Bayada. It's going to be a corner. So the first corner chance for Deering. It's taken short. Abdullahi will cross it in, but Caden Berry right there to thwart any chance Deering had.
You're not going to sneak a goal past Berry that easy.
Mayo will cross sides of the field to Copperthwaite. Fisher will get the ball back for Deering. And Yoon, it's in space. It's Carlson. Mayo can't keep it for Falmouth. Deering definitely having to settle down.
Yeah, it's all on them now to be perfect, to tie this up. All Falmouth needs to do is be a disruptor.
It's Abdullahi to Fisher. Abdullahi. And it's going to be a foul on Deering.
No, it's just going to be out of bounds.
Oh, it's going to be a throw-in.
Yeah.
It looked like Alfonso was putting up his hands like, did I foul him?
Well, I guess the answer is no.
It's Deering will get it back up the field. Alfonso can't play it, and it goes out of bounds.
About 12 minutes left to go in this match. Falmouth with a 2-1 lead.
And it's going to be it was a foul on Deering. You could hear the ref saying it was on the ground and not a throw-in. It's short. Carlson booting it out of bounds.
Wow, and no one marked up the player for Deering And that could have been not a good thing happening there either, with a free shot down the field.
It's going to be a throw for Deering. Into the corner. And it's going to be a corner for Deering.
All right, got to get some players in there.
It's going to be taken by Abdullahi. And Barry there taking it up quickly. And it's going to be a foul on Deering.
Yeah, definite push in the back there. Just under 10 minutes left to go in this match.
It's Carter and Long over the ball.
And they're wasting a ton of time.
9.5 to go. It's going to be Long to take it. It's Deering can't get it out. Fisher will bring it down, getting it up to Sargent. Abdullahi. And booted out by Griffin Parr.
Returning for the Rams is number 17, Ayuso Daniel.
Time is ticking. They got to get the ball in.
But the good thing for Deering is that as long as you can score the goal, and Mayo able to track back. It's to Wisink. Yoon. And it's a turnover. Deering trying to get something to go with 8 minutes left. Mayo able to bring it down, but Sargent right there to take it from him. And up the field. And great pressure by Deering to keep anything more than a slight touch by Braun.
Well, the passing for Deering from here on out's got to be crisp. They can't turn the ball over.
And great defense by Almada. Alfonso. And a great battle. And it's going to be a throw-in for Deering.
And as you can see, with a little under 7 minutes left to go in this match.
And Deering keeping possession.
Oh,
It's right back to Cabinda. Alfonso to Bayada. And Deering can't stringing any passes together. That's to the other side of the field. And Daniel, great slide tackle by Sargent. And Falmouth will get it up the field. It's Wissink over to Mayo.
Oh,
And Evan Mayo kicking it right to Borland.
well, I don't think Mayo was looking down at the ball, expecting the net to be wide open because his teammate had tried to fake out the goalie for Deering. But by the time he looked up to hit the ball, the goalie for Deering knew exactly where it was and picked his pocket.
Bayada will get it to Kabinda. And Deering with a great chance there.
And we have a timeout. We have a player for Falmouth down. Actually, I think we got a couple of players there in the box that were kicking for the ball that probably are going to have shin bruises.
Oh, the clock is going to restart. And it took a deflection. No, it didn't.
And I think it hit off the football goalpost just above the net.
And out of bounds on Deering. It's quickly taken up. Jesus. And Jesus trying to get it towards the goal, but Barry there to scoop it up. Just over 3.5 to go.
He did a great job at stopping the ball in its tracks, but there was no one there to help him.
Bayada kicking it towards the end line, and it's taken away. Mayo to Yoon. Wissink. And booted back down the field. Carter taking it down. And it's kicked away by Masenga. Just under 2.5 to go.
And got a beautiful moon coming up over the high school.
Fisher, and booted up.
Oh,
And great
just
defense by Wyatt Carlson.
just couldn't connect.
Wissink and Sargent taking that away. And too far out in front. And it looks like Lucio Cabinda is down. They're going to get... The trainers are going to go out, and so we'll take a timeout with 1 minute and 33 seconds left on the clock. And so Lucio Cabinda is walking off on his own. It's going to be a drop ball. Clock will start. 1.5 minutes to go. Falmouth with a 2-1 lead over Deering. Sargent can't get things to go. Falmouth is going to look to run the clock out. Mayo will just throw it into the corner. And it's going to be a corner.
Wow. Now they got to make sure they definitely mock up this time.
It's going to be right back into the corner. 45 seconds left.
Too
35
far.
seconds. It's going to be in the goalie's arms. And that's going to look like it's going to do it unless Deering can get it out from the corner. 9 seconds left. It's going to be a throw-in for Deering. 2-1. And there's your ball game. Deering losing this to Falmouth 2-1. And
yeah, we really saw a good game. It's one of those things. There's going to be a winner or a loser unless it's, overtime tie. But, Falmouth really came back after losing to Portland in double extra time on Friday. They didn't need it this time, but they doubled up Deering 2-1. And, it was a tough match. Like I said during the game, a lot of ebbs and flows. It's just Falmouth on the winning end.
yeah, it's pretty good for Falmouth coming out of Portland. 1 win and 1 loss. Falmouth probably wanted to take both games, but coming away with this Deering win, keeping their momentum going. They are 3-1 now, and so Falmouth gonna look to continue that, but Deering's gonna have to go back to the drawing board. It's been a slow start to the season for them.
Yeah, considering what they accomplished last year, and from what we've seen, what is going to need to be accomplished this year, because so many teams in this division are really good this year. It just seems like out of nowhere, all these teams are phenomenal.
Yeah, Deering is going to have to figure out how to capitalize on the chances that they create. They allowed Falmouth to get right back into the game. They had all the momentum in the first half after scoring that goal, but their inability to put a second behind the goalie allowed Falmouth to settle in. And the lone goal in the second half was scored by Kian Long. But going forward, Deering's going to have to figure out how to win in these close games. But their next game is at home against Wyndham, and at Falmouth, their next game is also at home against Scarborough. And so we'll see if both teams can, for Falmouth, they can stay in the win column, but Deering trying to get that second win on the season. They've moved to now 1 win, 1 tie, and 2 losses, and Falmouth is now at 3 wins and 1 loss. But this was a great game. And so final score in this one is Navigators 2, Rams 1. Saying so long. This has been a production of WPPS TV3 Portland Public Schools. Saying good night.
Thank you very much for watching.